Well, hello, Life West family, friends, alumni. Welcome with Dr. Mary. Welcome. It's so good to be so close to you.
And just sitting down relaxing.
Exactly. Imagine that. Dr. Mary and I really want to just take a moment just to kind of do a Life West year in review for 2023 and just go over some of the hot topics, some cool things that took place, and share them with you if you didn't know, or maybe just get some insight a little bit deeper into what you may know. So yeah, there's some pretty cool things that we did in 2023.
There's some really cool things. I'm going to start it off.
All right.
The question I get asked the most is about our service trips.
Yeah.
Where are we going next, and what's happening, and where have we been? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going. I mean, it's interesting because, right now we're in Tonga, we're in Mexico, we're in India. We got right now 5 trips a year going to India, 3 to Tonga, and 3 to Mexico. That's a lot, It's not just where we go, it's having staff to be able to go there, and, and I tell you what's so cool right now is they're selling out. Like they're just, our students, I mean, they're just all selling out. People that really want to go. It's just back. The pandemic kind of shut stuff down, and now it's back.
It's back to a wait list. Isn't there a wait list now?
For a lot of them, yeah.
Okay, well, I know how your brain works, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. Where are some places that are up and coming for service trips? Do you have any ideas in your head, or anything you're working on, or anything in the pipeline? I
can share some, but just to our viewers, this does not mean we're going there. So it's so important, because anytime I say something, it's like, they're going to the moon, and I get phone calls.
I don't know what they are.
What are you going? I know you don't know. I know. So some of the areas that we're looking at right now, because we're really trying to look closer in.
Yeah.
I should say, when I say we, it's me and innate, or my brain, I don't know. But we're really trying to look closer in, because India's, halfway across the world. Tonga feels like it's halfway across the world. So one is Cuba. Cuba's been on my heart. And and we've got a connection there, and being able to go take care of the Cuban people, and it's a beautiful country, and that's a really big one. And then,
a great one.
Yeah, and the other one is which, I get calls all the time for these 2 places, is El Salvador, right? And the other is the Philippines. But the Philippines, it's just the distance, but it doesn't rule it out. But it's one of those places. But it's awesome. I mean, and I just want to tell our friends, and if you haven't been on one of our service trips and you're a DC, come to it and bring your family, bring your spouse, significant other. They don't have to be chiropractors. They can help serve. It's 3 days. And I promise you, Mary, you know this, that husk will just come off. We all build the husk up as we go through our years, and it's like, that world out there sometimes isn't the most positive, and man, you go on a service trip and your heart just woof, and everything else just happens. So
well, and it's indescribable, and it's like I feel like there's a community now for the students who come back. I go up to them and I say, tell me what it's like, and I love when they look at me and go, I can't describe it. I go, perfect. Yeah. That's the answer I'm looking for, because even the DCs who go, they tend to keep wanting to go back for that. Yeah. So. Yeah. I agree. It's life-changing.
It is. So join us. I got a topic I want to bring up with you, because you were with us. So in March of 2023, we got our accreditation by Nebraska, the Higher Educational Commission in Nebraska, to the blessing to start a college. And man, 6 months, we had a college up and running, record time. Anyone in education will go, how the heck did you do that? And I can't tell you how we did it, but we did it because we're chiropractors, right? Tell me about that, because you watched this whole thing,
Well, and I had a vantage point there, because you're right, the team that went, it's like I wasn't involved in all the work.
That's the commission. This is the commission.
Yeah. And I kind of went more to just celebrate and watch things happen and be the photographer and like the historian for it. I didn't realize the emotionalness about it, like when we got the approval and just like all the things that were built up. Like we were so emotional. Dr. Marilyn and I were like, we cried at the end, and it was like, it was historic. And even for you and everyone who worked on this, you didn't know how this pushed through so fast.
Oh, no.
And it was like, I know it was the work that you did, and I know it was because you had the right team and got the work done and got it right, got it done correctly, which I think helped push it through. But I don't think it was until we were in the moment, like when the four of you walked out of that meeting, and I took a picture of you. Remember that? I said something to you, and all of you looked up, and you all like threw your hand up, and I snapped a picture at that point. And that to me was the culmination of it. It was just like, we did it.
And it was really cool. And I just, the viewers need to know that, you know, it's one thing to have a vision without action is a hallucination, and I have tons of hallucinations, but a vision with action, you know, creates result. And it was Dr. Marilyn who really pushed this through. Dr. Marilyn El Hassan is my executive vice president and chief strategy officer, and you know, she had help from Dr. Scott Donaldson and help from, you know, Dan Cardenas in admissions, and Adrian Ferris, and he's our associate vice president, and of course our finance team led by Maria Perry, our CFO, and then everybody else, Dr. Lauren Klum on the clinical side. So it was a team. I mean, and I'm missing people also, but
I know.
Yeah, but it really was historic, and we just had the open house, our grand opening, right?
And it was March and then October.
We started in October. We started literally
November.
Yeah, no, October. 6 months later, and then we had our open house in November 3rd or 4th was our grand opening, I should say. Yeah, and you were there.
And even that was like, you know, I think we prepared for 50 people, 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And how many ended up coming over?
No, I think we were prepared for 80.
Oh,
and it started at 50, then it went to 80, and we had about 120 that showed up, and we had no idea who was going to be there, and it was just packed, and it was just people, the mayor, and people, it was just...
Oh, and the excitement about it, and it was...
It's great.
And just, like, I think what blew me away the most was the short time period.
Yeah.
Like, usually these things take a while, but the fact that it was going and meeting the first class, and I had a chance to speak to them and told them, it hasn't hit you yet. This is probably not as meaningful for you yet, but 10, 20, 30 years from now, when you look back at being the first class here, it's going to be something. So.
Yeah, you know, it makes me think this, you know, for Carol and Joe Ball, if you're watching this, Claudia Onrig, if you're watching this, right? You know, Ron Norlinger, the whole first class, Michael Zabel, and all the first class that was at Pacific States that became Life West, you know how historical you were, and I'd love for these first class students to meet you, all of you, so that you can sit together to be able to just kind of share that as, you know, almost like a grandparent and a grandchild, you know, the history of what took place. So very, very cool. It was very, very, and for all of our DCs and friends out there, come visit Bellevue. We'll be holding seminars and things like that on the campus. Man, make it to Omaha. First of all, it's a very cool city, but second of all, the campus is exquisite. We'd love for you to be there. Question for you. I was
going to say, and I feel like Omaha is a hidden gem.
It is.
We've spent time now downtown, and people think of, what is the joke? Cornhuskers?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, stay away from Omaha, because I wanted to stay this way, but great restaurants, you know, it's just,
great people,
it's
you know,
a great
cool
city.
shops.
I love it.
It is. It's a hidden gem. It is. All right, I want to ask you about this because, you know, we've been doing this now, the Life by Life West that me and you host, right? And we've been doing our Life by Life West webcast, now a podcast also. We've been doing it for 2 years, I think, about that, maybe 2.5 years. Right?
Because I think wasn't it right at the beginning of 2020?
No, the leadership line was beginning of 2020.
That's right.
This came in like maybe 6 months later. So 2.5 years, let's just say that, right? I want to throw out some, so this every year they're great, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out some names to you, and you tell me, I put you on the spot. Yeah. You tell me, you probably got the same questions from Sharon, from my executive assistant, for me, I bet you it's there. I'm going to throw some names out to you, and you tell me, just give me a thought of what took place, or what you remember, or what hit you about this, right?
Okay.
The first one, from Florida, huge pediatric practice, huge heart, wonderful chiropractor, you know, out maybe 5 or 10 years, Dr. Ian Stolman.
I mean, I'm going to say about each one of them probably that they were one of my favorites. But
yeah, they all were.
Every time we hang up from those calls, though, I say like, oh, that one was great.
Yeah.
So, wow, he made me want to be a student and go back to school and learn from him.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go. I love that. and this might not be politically correct to say this, however, I love that he's a male and he's really into pregnancy and peds. Now, we have a lot of men who are into it.
Yeah.
A lot of them are husband and wife teams.
Yeah.
And I just love, he said he's been to births and things like that. He was a wealth of information and just had he's the whole package he had the philosophy, he has the heart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was great.
He was awesome.
He was great. Next one. Nolan Halverson.
Nolan, oh gosh.
Dr. Nolan Halverson. Life West graduate.
Wow. Nolan hit the ground running, and Nolan is my answer to anybody's question who says, when you get out, what do you do to be successful? It's like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, watch him do whatever he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's blowing up. I mean, Dallas, Texas, outside of Dallas,
yeah.
I don't know the town exactly.
Doing amazing.
Yeah, just amazing, and big heart and lovely, just loves chiropractic, and he's in it like, on a heart level, and it's just
And he would
beautiful.
be the first to say, there's nothing special about me.
Yeah.
But he does have mentors.
Yeah.
I know he reaches out to you a ton,
Yeah.
and he reaches out to other people, and he just hit the ground running, and he just put his nose to the ground.
He's
and
great. He's
get
great.
it done.
Okay. Next one.
Okay.
Catherine Pete.
I mean, she's one of my favorite people on the planet. So she was just so real and so raw, I want to say, in their practice, because she came from the practice where Palmer had practiced for years. And I know when I had conversations with her, she was a little, I wouldn't say nervous, maybe anxious about he's been practiced before and I haven't, so he knows so much more. She even said, she goes, in the beginning I got in there and she was feeling a little unsure, and then she just said just be honest, be open. If you don't know something, say it. And her confidence level just went like this, and she's now she loves it.
She's a rock star.
Yeah, she is a rock star on so many levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
For so many reasons.
Two more, and I know these are your favorite people because I just know it, right? Two out of three of your favorite people, I should say five, but we had Morgan and Sydney on our pod on the Life by Life West this year. We had Lauren the year before, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had Morgan and Sydney. Just first couple things about them.
First couple things. Sydney's podcast, Sydney's webcast, is the one that I got the most text messages from students. Mm-hmm. Her realness, how raw she was, talking about her journey, how people would think she's a chiro kid, and she it should have been easy, and it wasn't. And I love that she was so open about that and just shares her journey.
Yeah. And Morgan. Well, first of all, with Sydney, what I got out of that, because it was so cool.
How many times have you watched Sydney's?
I watched probably about 5 or 6, 7, 8, who knows, 10, 11, 12. I mean, wake up in the morning, nothing to do, I'll just pop it on. What I loved about her transformation this year, the last few years, has been incredible. But what I loved was, if it's not an F, yes, it's a no. If it's not an F, yes, it's a no. And she's living her life like that, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be this is what I'm doing. I love that. All right, Morgan.
And Morgan, similar as fact, talking about her journey, but Morgan's whole thing was living that intentional life. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're my biggest teachers now, mm-hmm. right? And that's what I got out of hers. It's be intentional, stuff's gonna come up, handle it, but be open, be honest, be loving, be true to yourself, right? Yeah. I know her thing right now is radical honesty, and hers was pretty. You probably don't know this, but at the very end, my eyes were really glassy at the end of hers because it just kind of hit me at the end of how amazing a person she is.
Yeah, so. They all are. Everyone, every single person we interviewed on our Life by Life West was amazing. So that. Those are the names that came to my mind. Okay. When did you get an email from Sharon?
I did.
Okay.
So similarly for the Life Leadership Lines.
Yeah.
And these are the. Well, how would you describe the Life Leadership Line, first of all?
I would describe it as the interviewee, my guest on that show, because I do that alone, is someone who's been in practice 20 years or over, been involved in whether it's politics or certain things or certain aspects of chiropractic, and some of the people that are out there,
Good.
that are really doing some great things.
Okay.
Wow, is that how you list them?
Well, no. I mean, I have a list because I went through. The first one, of course, is one of our good friends, Dr. Mindy Pelz.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So what'd you think of that?
I mean, I didn't even think. I just took it in. Mindy is if our viewers have not seen, heard, watched, Mindy Pelz, Pelz, go on YouTube, go on Instagram. I mean, she is a chiropractor sending more people to chiropractors' offices throughout this world than you can ever imagine. Probably up to 1 million followers. And she's just she's a genius, and she's all love. I mean, just and she's one of the leaders in women's health, which is such a hot thing these days, So you just got to go see her.
And I know you can go on talking about her.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you. Jay Comerick.
Wow, that's a good one. Jay is lovely. Jay is. Jay Comerick, he teaches animal adjusting. He is a chiro kid himself. He is incredible. This guy, he tells a story. You talk about someone who just breathes and lives chiropractic, but also takes it to a different level, and understands the philosophy. He's incredible, just incredible.
Good.
Yeah.
Terry Schroeder.
Wow, Terry Schroeder. So if you don't know about Terry, Terry comes from a line of, 43, 82 chiropractors, something like this. Terry was an Olympic, 4 Olympic teams for water polo. Now coaches the Olympic water polo team for the U.S. Olympics. Coaches at Pepperdine. Loves chiropractic. Just still practices. Him and his wife. I mean, you can't get the better package. And to think that in L.A. when they did the '84 Olympics, and they have a statue outside of L.A. of a man and a woman athlete. It's Terry who they did that statue over. So, it's just incredible.
He's a rock star.
Yeah, he is a rock star.
Okay, last one. I know you love this guy, Bob DeBonis.
Man, you're picking out my,
I know.
Bob DeBonis. Bob's the package. He's the science, he's the philosophy, he's the art. He's been in the game for, probably 46 years, something like that. Just will on his tombstone, which hopefully will be in many, many, many years, it'll be, did it all. Like he did it. He's a Frank Sinatra kind of guy, He did it all. It was just incredible.
Great.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to watch these. Those are good. Is that all? Is that it?
That was it. I could have gone on.
Yeah.
It was really hard picking some names, but I just tried to pick a few.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, catch you off guard.
Good. Well, we're going to go on to our next topic, so let's think about what we're going to talk about. Well, welcome to the radiology room in our Learning Commons. This is a room that we just developed recently it's really amazing. Our radiologists come in here, they do rounds with our students. We've got 3 big screen TVs that are behind Dr. Mary and myself that they can show radiological pictures along with MRIs and CAT scans and do comparisons. And they take small groups of people in this room and have, not 1-on-1 time, but 1-on-10 time or 1-on-15 time. They also do positioning, X-ray positioning in this room. And it's really become a phenomenal hub for our radiology teaching. And it's just an incredible room.
And I'm going to snowball on that. Can we talk about the CBCT?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have we have a new CBCT. I think you were one of the first people to get a CBCT in there.
Was.
Yes, we have a new CBCT. It's cone beam computer tomography. Incredible pictures. I mean, obviously, you
I did it. One. It's impressive. It's an impressive machine, and I'm so excited that the students are getting to learn on this. I mean, what an opportunity.
Yeah, it's state of the art. I mean, I like when digital X-rays first came out, and we were practicing, with analog, and it was like, playing film, and it was like, digital. Like, what's that? And then, man, you can't even buy a analog unit anymore. They're all the same units, but I started with dip tanks, unfortunately, dipping them myself, and then automatic processor was a big upgrade, but digital. This will be in 10 years, my prediction. CBCT in 10 to 15 years would be what digital is now. Like people get rid of their digital and have CBCT. Incredible technology, but this room is just really cool.
This room is cool. We also have a couple other cool rooms in the college. What about the Technology Training Center?
Yeah, well,
what's happening there?
The last year we actually were in there doing this, closed because we had built it then, but we did our grand opening,
right.
Sometime I think in February, something like that, for the Technology Training Center. It is one of the meccas on campus right now, where we have our force plate tables and force sensing tables, and we have our mannequins, and we have all the technology in there from David Fletcher's CLA equipment, and David Markarian's Vision equipment, and Roger Titron's Titron equipment, and all the different things that we have in there, along with like Kinetisense and all these other programs that are in there. It's phenomenal. I mean, yeah.
And the Nexus Brain Center.
Oh, Dan Perman.
It's been hopping, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. The Brain Center is just incredible. Our Nexus Brain Center is truly it's a gift actually to the world, to be able to take care of people who have brain injuries, people who are autistic, people who have spinal cord injuries, things like that. The work that he's doing is incredible. And this is like outside people coming in a lot. Our students get to learn in there, intern in there, take their neurology and apply it, which is really cool. But if you have anybody in your sphere, in your practice, if you're a practicing doctor of any discipline, and there's anything going on, really high level neurological or just brain injuries, concussions, whatever it might be, send them over and we'll send them right back, but they will have an experience that we usually take someone like that on for a week, and then Dan sends them back. Maybe he sees them 6 months later, but the chiropractor then continues doing what he's doing. Incredible stuff, Yeah.
What else in 2023?
The Nirankari mission. Not the mission, but with having Mataji come to the campus.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our viewers know that we've been serving with the Nirankari community in India. That's where our first service trip started with, right? The two that we do in November and then in January are at what's called the Samagam, and that's where there's like 1.75 million people on the grounds. It's pretty massive. The head of it, Mataji, was here in town doing. She was actually on a worldwide tour, and came to Life West, and we had a presentation. She spoke to our students. Spent about an hour, and then we had a lunch afterwards, and they provided lunch, and it was just incredible. And then our students went afterwards to India. It was just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That was it was historic, and it was just lovely to have. So
yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah, great stuff on campus. I mean, things are happening and popping, and just what we love to see, right?
Yep.
Well, here we are in the spa, not necessarily a sauna and massage place, but this is our standard process auditorium hall, and we're getting ready for graduation. I mean, graduation is going to be starting in about an hour and 15 minutes, and there's just a lot happening today, which is
buzz.
Yeah, but this is a really cool place. I mean, this is just amazing, and thank you, Standard Process. This is just we hold a lot of events in here. Canadian Thanksgiving just came to mind.
Canadian Thanksgiving, yep.
October, we have a Canadian Thanksgiving, right? All of our Canadian students, and they can't bring their American or other nationality boyfriends and girlfriends, but the significant others can come, and spouses and children, and so it's been a tradition that Jerry Klum started 44 years ago, and we continue it today. We host that.
Yeah, and we've had how many? I think some of our biggest ones we've had. How many people?
Oh, over 100.
That's how many Canadian students we have.
Yeah. It's just a great event. So,
And then the other big event besides graduation is the Wave.
The Wave.
Which this last Wave this year, what I've heard is it was the best one yet.
Yeah, well, we hear that a lot on all of them, but I believe it, that every speaker matched up, from it was just incredible how one speaker, the next person who came up, piggybacked off of what they said, and they didn't even know what order they were going. They had no idea. I mean, we had over I don't know what it was, 1,400 people here, and we moved it, just so our viewers know that we moved this It used to have it at hotels and different places, and we probably mostly had like 800. We brought it home. We were supposed to bring it home in 2020, and then the pandemic, and then 2021, and then but 2022 we had it here, and then 2023 we had it. It's, for now on, it's going to be here, and it was incredible. I mean,
it's really good.
Yeah, just amazing.
So don't miss next year. Next year is going to outdo this year.
Well, I will tell you this: I promise it will be sold out because we can only handle so many. People were sitting on the. Well, if the fire marshal's not listening, I don't know, but it was just pretty crazy. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Some of the other things that come to mind when I think back of the year. Some of my favorite things is hosting the dinners at our house.
Yeah.
So every quarter we host, at least three dinners.
Yeah.
We host a Chiro Kids dinner, which is really cool. It's all the chiropractic kids. The second one is every quarter we do a staff and faculty dinner.
Yep.
So we pick one department, one group. And then the last one is a student, or whether it's a student organization or the fraternity, sorority, like student council. And it's really cool for me because I don't work here, I'm not on campus, I get to see them and we get to feed them, and it's really kind of cool. It's funny because they always thank us for hosting and I'm thanking them for coming.
Yeah.
And they just seem, I don't know, they seem like they have a good time, but I love feeding them.
Yeah, and just to be around them. I mean, their energy is just magnetic. They're like, oh, we're going to the president and the presidential spouse's house, but it's not like that. They come in and we're in blue jeans and we want them to feel relaxed. And it's not just them; those also our faculty and our staff and administration when we have these groups come. And it really is to create that bond and create that culture of that we're all on the same mission moving forward. And and our Chiro kids, you have to have a parent that's a chiropractor, right? And I know that our chiropractic parents just are very thankful that they know that they're spending time with us, having dinner with us, and it's such a cool thing. Yeah.
And then there's our dinners not here in Hayward.
Yeah.
Right? Our Canadian tour.
Yeah.
That was was a fun time.
It was nice too to finally get back to Canada. We hadn't been for 3 years. We weren't able to go there, and then we opened it up, and now we went there. We did Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary.
Right.
Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday. It was like we were a rock band. We're on the road in the airport every morning, flying to wherever we're going to go to. The crowds were incredible. I mean, man, Toronto and Edmonton. Edmonton was just we had no room for people.
No, that was
it was like just packed. I mean, we had to find places. We couldn't get them all in the one room at the end. We had prospective students. We had docs that were there, family members. It was just incredible. I mean, it was just incredible, and it was really great to get back to Canada. We'll be coming back, again, of course, as Canada is so near and dear to our heart, and to get vitalistic chiropractors, sending their students to us is it's just a big honor, And then we did Europe, right?
Yep.
We were in Spain.
Yep.
And
we
then
both spoke at Chiro Europe.
Yep. And then we went to Ireland. And that was beautiful. I mean, just just beautiful. In fact, we're going back to speak at their convention this coming year, right? 2024. Both of us are speaking there. And then we went to Paris and had time with those docs there, and it was just incredible. I mean, Life West is truly. We're not just a national college, we're an international college. And when you walk our halls and you see the student body, and you see who they're made up of, right? And what nationalities, and you can see the flags up on hanging from the ceilings, and just see where people come from. We're known all over, all over. We had a student just recently that came from, I want to say they came from Taiwan or Singapore or somewhere. We said, how'd you get here? And it was like, I just went on the internet and they just felt it, they literally just felt it, it's so cool, and it's just what's here, so it's great, it's really wonderful.
That's all I can't think of too much else. I know there's a lot of other stuff that's happened, but that's all the exciting stuff.
It is, and I think we got a lot of very, very cool things going on coming up. One of the big things we didn't even touch on is that our students now, last 4 quarters, off campus, completely online. It's the time for them to be able to go out and intern. One of the big things was that when we surveyed our alumni and friends, we heard that what could Life West, we knew what we do good at, we know that, and we want to get better, of course, and keep getting better. But one of the things that we could do better at was teach business. And we hear that, every school hears that, right? Every school. And how do you teach more business to a student when you got 4,400 hours that you have to put into them over the course of the period of time that it's mandated? And, you know, are they really going to remember that accounting class in ninth quarter, you know, when they, you know, a year and a half later? But where we crack that nut was our preceptorships. And there's not a school out there that's doing this where our students go out and preceptor. They can preceptor for almost a year, a little over a year actually, last 4 quarters. And you know, they can learn the business and be with docs, or whether it's technique, whether it's front desk, whether it's consultations, report of findings. I mean, they're going to learn from the best of the best, and that's our viewers. That's you guys. So it's awesome. And the sad thing is, I got so many people saying we want preceptors, and we don't have enough students to send out to all the docs who want to be out there. So that's a plug for you guys to send more students to Life West, so that we can then fill your office and have them come back. But you know, don't be under the illusion that they're going to come back and you know, because they're going to come back different people than how you send them. They're going to come back philosophically grounded. They're going to come back technically savvy, and they're going to come back, hopefully, our goal is with a heart of servitude, right? You know, a servant's heart, where they really exemplify lasting purpose, giving, doing, loving, and serving from their own abundance, expecting nothing in return. So pretty cool.
Okay, well, we'll end on the saddest note.
Dr.
Jerry Clum and the passing of Jerry on
well,
October 27th.
I know. And you know, Dr. Clum was a pillar. He was a rock for many of us. You know, I mean, we go back. I go back. He did my interview with me when I went to Life College.
You were how old?
Transferred
20,
there.
20?
I was 23, maybe 20, something like that. And he was it's 22. And he was, you know, he did my interview. He was my teacher. He was my special schedule advisor. He was my man, you know, anything I needed. And then, you know, we sent him out here, and then Dr. Sid asked me to be on the board, and I was with Jerry out here for 24 years, 25 years on the board. And then when I took over, I mean, you know, I just only pray that we honor Dr. Clum in the way, you know, I hear that a lot, like, thank you for honoring him, thank you for including him. And, you know, one of his highlights was at this last wave.
I know.
Yeah, we had him, and he was here, and he did our commencement address on our anniversary year when we brought the first class up, you know, and gave them diplomas. And but Dr. Clum, I mean,
can you ever really honor him enough? You probably can't.
I don't think
but
so.
We can certainly try.
I really, truly, honestly believe this. You look back at the history of chiropractic with Dee Dee and BJ and the founders and the people who really took it from, you know, up until like the 1950s, you know, the pioneers that were there. And then you have the Sid Williams and Jim Parkers and people who kind of took the educational component and the you know, philosophical components and kept them going, and the success components. And then I think you're going to see the people who did, and they did political also, and then you're going to see the people who did really kind of set the bedrock, you know, for our educational, you know, and that was Jerry Clum.
That was Jerry.
Jerry and his group, and what they did. We can't see it now. It's too, you know, we're not in the, you know, but we will see it in another 10, 15 years, and he will always live on in chiropractic as being one of those people who elevated and leveled up our profession. And in the philosophy, steeped in the philosophy and technique. So not much, you know, But that's a beautiful note to end on, I think, because,
I think so,
you know, Jerry was a hero to many of us, you know, and he's a mentor and a friend. And just, you know, we send our love to everybody, you know, and we could be honored to know that, you know, we just keep doing him proud, because that's really, you know, for Life West, that's what it's about. So. Are we good?
We're good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending time with us. We hope that this recap brought you a little bit closer to Life West, or a little bit on the inside of Life West of what we're doing. You hear about the outside. And we just love and appreciate you. And 2023 was phenomenal. 2024, we're going to take it to the next level. That's what we have to do. That's what we're charged to do by you, you know, and we will do that in every way that we can. So until we come back at you next year for the 2024 recap, we'll bid you adieu.
And we'll see you at the wave.
Absolutely. See you there. We'll celebrate together. Bye-bye.
Bye.